Did you know that Old English used to have two words for to know, like modern day Spanish? But unless you're a language geek like me, you probably didn't know that. But what you do know, pun intended, is that trying to figure out the difference between saber and conocer isn't easy. Now, just like in my beginner Spanish course I have here on YouTube, I like to keep things simple. So what I've done is I've broken down saber and conocer into their core uses. And I've created a simple trick so that by the end of this video, it will make it impossible to forget which one to use. So here's the big difference between saber and conocer. Saber is knowledge in your head, and conocer is familiarity through experience. So if it's facts, information, or ability, use saber. And if it's familiarity because you've experienced it, use conocer. Now, these two categories can be further divided into three smaller groups. Now, most videos start with saber, but I'm actually going to start this video with conocer as I have a great trick to make it memorable. So as I said, conocer is all about familiarity. It's not about facts. It's not about information you've learned. It's about familiarity you've gained through experience. Now, there are three very clear situations where we can use conocer. I call them the three sums. So we have someone, somewhere, or something. So first we use conocer when we're familiar with someone. Second, we use it when we're familiar with somewhere, like some place. And thirdly, we use it when we're familiar with something. So let's have a look at each of these uses in more detail. First of all, we use conocer when we're familiar with someone. That familiarity usually comes from some kind of exposure somehow. Now, that doesn't just mean face to face. Now, it can include having met them in person, but it can also include having communicated online or by phone in a way that creates familiarity. It can also include knowing them through a shared experience, like for example at school or at work. Or it can include being familiar with a public figure through exposure in the media, for example by watching their films or by listening to their music. What matters is that there has been some kind of exposure that creates familiarity. So here's some example sentences. Conozco a Carlos. I know Carlos. Or, ¿conoces a mi hermano? Do you know my brother? Or, no conozco a tu profesor. I don't know your teacher. Or, conozco a Shakira. I know Shakira. Or in other words, what you probably mean is, I've heard of Shakira, or I'm familiar with her. So using conocer doesn't mean that you're best friends with the person. It doesn't mean that you have to know everything about them. It simply means you're familiar with them. There's some sort of acquaintance. You've had exposure to them. That's what having experience of someone means here. Now, one important thing to note. When you use conocer with a person, you need to include what's called the personal A between conocer and the person. So you wouldn't say, conozco Carlos. Instead, you have to say, conozco a Carlos. So, to sum things up, we use conocer with a person when we're familiar with them through some kind of exposure, either personally or through public familiarity. So, secondly, we use conocer when you're familiar with a place. For places like countries, cities, or towns, this usually means you've actually been there in person. For example, conozco México. I know Mexico. Or in other words, I've been to Mexico. Or, ¿conoces Barcelona? Do you know Barcelona? In other words, have you been to Barcelona? For other places like restaurants, hotels, or museums and so on, conocer can also mean that you're familiar with them for exposure, such as seeing them online or hearing about them or reading reviews. For example, conozco ese restaurante. I know that restaurant. Maybe I've eaten there, or maybe I know it from seeing it online. Or, conozco el Hotel Plaza. I know the Plaza Hotel. Maybe I've stayed there, or maybe I'm familiar with it from seeing it on television. So conocer implies experience. In the case of conozco México, It means you've actually travelled there, that you're familiar with it in person. It doesn't mean, though, that you have to know everything about it. You don't have to be an expert on Mexico to say that you know it in Spanish. You just have to have been there. And the same goes for all other places you're familiar with. You don't have to know everything about them. You just have to have had exposure to them somehow. So thirdly, you use conocer when you're familiar with something because you've been exposed to it. Now, this isn't about memorizing facts or learning information. Instead, conocer is actually about experiencing or engaging with it in a way that makes you familiar. So, for example, this could be with food or a particular cuisine, like you've tasted it or you've cooked it. Or it could be music, like you've listened to it or you've performed it. Or it could be ideas and philosophies, the fact that you've explored, studied or reflected on them. For example, conozco la comida italiana. I know Italian food. Or conozco la música jazz. I know jazz music. Or conozco esa filosofía. I know that philosophy. This doesn't mean that you've just memorized facts about these things. It means you've experienced or engaged with them, which is what creates the familiarity that conocer expresses. Now, it's interesting to note how in all these sentences you can literally say in Spanish that you know Italian food, you know jazz music, or you know a certain philosophy. But in English, we'd usually express it differently. We'd say something like, we've eaten Italian food, or we've listened to jazz music, or we've studied a certain philosophy. So, conocer can replace verbs we'd usually use in English, because Spanish expresses the idea of being familiar with something through experience using the verb conocer. Okay, so if conocer is familiarity through experience, then the verb saber is all about knowledge you've learned in your head. So saber is about facts, information, and ability. So let's take a closer look at the three uses of saber. So the first use of saber is for facts. Now, facts are things that are true for everyone. They are general truths. They're not something you've learned from personal experience. For example, sé que el agua hierve a 100 grados Celsius. I know that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Or, sé que España está en Europa. I know that Spain is in Europe. Or, ¿sabes que hoy es feriado? Do you know that today is a public holiday? So most of the time when we're stating facts using saber, we'll use the construction saber plus the word que plus the rest of the sentence. You can see that in all three of the example sentences that I just showed you. Now, Spanish learners can often get confused between saber and conocer when we're talking about facts related to a person. So, using conocer, you could say, no conozco a tu bisabuelo. I don't know your great-grandfather. I've not had any experience of him. But then, using saber, you could say, sé que tu bisabuelo tiene 92 años. I know that your great-grandfather is 92 years old. So you can know a fact about someone without actually knowing them personally. This comes down to knowing someone, like being acquainted with them, which uses conocer, versus just knowing something about someone, which uses saber. So always use saber to express facts or universal truths, things you know, not because you've experienced them, but because you have information about them. Now, the second use of saber is for information. This is specific knowledge you can point to, such as numbers, dates, names, addresses, or answers to questions. Now, just like facts, this type of knowledge isn't based on personal experience. Instead, it's something you've stored in your head, knowledge you can recall when needed. For example, ¿sabes su número de teléfono? Do you know their phone number? Or, no sé la fecha de su aniversario. I don't know the date of their wedding anniversary. Or, ¿sabes la dirección de la tienda? Do you know the address of the store? Or, ¿sabes dónde está la estación? Do you know where the station is? Now, something you'll notice when asking or sharing information is that the verb saber often pairs with question words such as what, where, when, why, how, and who. So then, information is retrievable knowledge. It's something you have stored in your mind, and it can change depending on the situation, which is unlike universal facts. So you can think of facts as general truths, like for example, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. And you can think of information as specific retrievable knowledge, like saying her phone number is 555-1234, for example. Both of these uses of saber don't require personal experience, and that's what distinguishes them from conocer. Now, before we cover the final use of saber, make sure to download the free PDF that I've created. It has everything we've gone through in this video, plus extra practice sentences to help you master the differences. And if you want extra help and support with your Spanish, join my free WhatsApp community. You'll find the links to both the PDF and the community down in the description below. Now, the third use of saber is all about ability, knowing how to do something. This is different from facts or information. Instead of expressing knowledge about a thing, this use of saber expresses a skill or competence. For example, sé hablar español. I know how to speak Spanish. Or, ¿sabes cocinar? Do you know how to cook? Or, sabe tocar la guitarra. He knows how to play the guitar. Now, notice something important in all of these sentences. We don't use the word como, which means how in Spanish. That's because saber already carries the meaning of knowing how, so adding the word como is unnecessary. So it's not sé cómo hablar español, but instead it's sé hablar español. So this use of saber answers questions like, can you do it? Or do you have the skill? So this one is really nice and simple. If you're saying that you know how to do something, use saber. And so if you remember the three sums from the start of this video, you'll always know when to use conocer as well. Ask yourself, have I experienced someone? Have I experienced somewhere? Or have I experienced something? If the answer is yes, then use conocer. And if the answer is no, use saber. It's as simple as that. Now, if this video has made Spanish feel clearer and less confusing, that's exactly how my beginner Spanish course works. I don't overload you with grammar rules in the course. Instead, I help you build sentences step by step so you can actually understand why you're saying something, instead of just memorizing random words. You can check out the course for free right here on YouTube by clicking the thumbnail that's on screen now, or by clicking the link that's in the description. So, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.